If you're having problems with your doors closing on your house, I might have a useful tip here for you. This door is a pre-hung, it's a new unfinished mahogany wood door. For the first 6 months that we owned this door, the door would not close. It would actually hit on this side here all the way up to the top. And it was just hitting about an 1/8 to 1/16 of an inch depending on the weather, expanding and contracting. And a lot of the finish guys we talked to wanted to shave down the inside of the door and reset all the hinges and do a whole lot of work. We didn't do any of that work, and as you can see, this door is opening and closing absolutely fine. And the theory of the door expanding and contracting with moisture has nothing to do with it either, because we've gone through dry seasons and hot seasons and humid seasons, and it's still opening and closing just fine. So what we did with the door is a typical fix you can do on just about any door, is we actually took off the hinges, and you could unscrew these hinges one at a time. You don't have to take the whole heavy mahogany door off at once. You can just take off one hinge, and we used a wood chisel and chiseled down just behind the hinges and set the hinges a little deeper, mainly on the top one and then a little more on the middle one when we ran out of depth, because you don't want to go too deep or you're going to start hanging up the hinges. They'll start pressing incorrectly. So we set our hinges deeper up top, we set our middle hinge a little deeper, and the bottom really wasn't a problem. It was always closing correctly. And then as we did it, we just kept testing the door and chiseling out a little more, and testing the door and chiseling out a little more until we got it to close absolutely perfect. And by perfect, I mean we only have about a 1/16 of an inch here as this door slides shut, so we have a strong seal. Now, something to keep in mind as you're chiseling out your door hinges is as you chisel, you want to constantly be running your finger along that surface to make sure that you're keeping a nice smooth surface, because if you chisel too deep in spots, it's going to mess up your doorway and you're not going to have a right fit. Another thing you want to keep in mind while you're chiseling to help keep yourself from messing up the inside of your doorway is just turn the chisel so the angled part is against the part you're chiseling and not the flat part of the chisel. That'll keep the chisel from digging in too far. So hopefully this has been a helpful tip for you. If you have a door at home that's just not closing right, try chiseling out the hinges. And again, if you're hanging a door and you're having issues where the door is hitting on one side, maybe at the top, not at the bottom, check your hinges, try chiseling things out. It's a much easier fix than trying many of the other things like shaving down the door. Start with your hinges, start with a chisel, see how far you get. If you have any questions, feel free to message us.